Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm so
Happy
glad.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. The month, girlfriend, it's almost over.
I know.
It's
I'm
crazy.
glancing down at the date on my computer. It's the 19th. Yeah. I find though February, well, I don't know. Since this summer for me, this summer. Can you tell I'm looking forward to the summer? This winter for me in the state of Ohio in the snow belt has been one heck of a winter. So I am ready. I never really say I want things to move quicker. And the older we
Yeah,
get, you know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm like,
yeah.
but I'm really ready for March to come in. I really am.
Will the snow start to melt by now or only in March?
Actually, no, because we had well over a foot of snow. And the snow never left the ground this winter once it hit. We had at
Wow,
one time it was 14 below zero. We had pipes freeze in the house. I mean, so
wow.
right now I see pavement and I see brown grass, but it's grass. And just a little bit of snow piles here and there where all the plows were like pushing snow up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, and 2 days ago, the sun was out and shining and it was about 48 degrees. And I ran outside as if, you know, how dogs stick their heads out the window. That was me. I came out going, oh my gosh. So, yeah.
I've heard that many times from my cousins in Chicago, the same thing. It's like
Oh, yeah.
when the sun comes out, it's like everybody's out, everybody's walking their dog, they're riding their bikes and everything. And I'm like, what? The
It,
sun's out all the
it,
time now.
Yeah, it is true. When the sun is out, we have these winters like this. And Chicago's like where I live. We have very gray winters. We don't get a lot of sun. And let me tell
Hmm.
you, one sunny day, 2 days ago, kids were out walking to school in their shorts.
Yeah,
And it was
exactly.
below 50 degrees. But for us, that's a heat wave right now.
Right, exactly. For us, we're like we got beanies on and snowboard coats and all this stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, welcome everybody. This is Denise Day, Empowerment Coach. Welcome to Coffee with the Coaches. We're so glad that you are joining us. Sorry, this isn't actually live. We had to pre-record many technical issues. Today's topic is about partnership. So, Denise, thank you for being in partnership with me, and helping me fumble through some of this techie stuff that my also wonderful partner, Erin, usually handles. So,
Hey, I'm
you
not much help.
well, we do have AI, and that was a huge help too.
Yes.
But today's very, very special because Erin is actually out traveling this week, and instead of canceling, we thought it'd be a great idea to partner up with Denise and get together this morning because it's all about partnership. So I want to welcome Denise Day, beautiful empowerment coach. She shares our heart for helping women step into their strength and confidence and clarity. She truly embodies what it means to collaborate instead of compete, to lift as she rises, and to remind who we are, who we all are, so that we can all be supported and feel powerful and be powerful. So, thank you, Denise. We're so grateful.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I am blessed. Thank you.
Same, same. Blessed to have you.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit about yourself, Denise?
Okay. Yes, obviously. My name is Denise, and as I said, I live in Northeast Ohio, in the United States. And I started on my coaching journey at the age of 58. So I made some major life decisions at the age of 58. I'll be 61 in a couple months. And I tell people I did like a 180 in my life pretty much overnight. I don't necessarily recommend that, but it had to be done. I was not happy where I was in a lot of areas of my life, and as I was discovering this, I thought the more women I was talking to, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's many of us in the same boat, and it just became my passion and it's my mission. One of my mission statements is that right now I want to help capable women move from burnout. And when I talk about burnout, Tiffany and I talked about it yesterday a little bit. I don't mean work burnout.
Mhm.
Burnout is very, very different from how I talk about it, and help women move from that and overthinking to gain clarity, to step into self-empowered leadership and self-trust.
Love it.
Because those are the things I did not know, that I was never taught. So that's my mission. And in a nutshell, that's why I do what I do now as an empowerment coach for women.
I love it. I love it. And that is so true. And that's exactly the mission of Aaron and I. Why wait till you get to your mid 50s, late 50s or whatever to share the knowledge and the wisdom that
Hmm.
if I had the opportunity, if it was supposed to be in my timing, I think it would have been very helpful to know this 20 years ago.
Absolutely. And we know the saying that if we only knew this when we were younger, but the things that we talk about, and obviously Aaron, with you,
Hmm.
is no, it's not right to wait. So even though I do mainly work with women who are like, I know not like the word midlife in the second chapter of life, my goal one day is to reach the younger generation. And I
Hmm.
start with my granddaughter, who just
Hmm.
turned 12 last week, and my daughter. But those are the people that we need to be reaching,
Hmm.
so that they don't end up where you and I did, Tiffany, in 50s and going, is this it? What's going
Right.
on? Everybody said after I raised my family, or you're still raising, we're still raising, but you know what I mean? And we have
Yeah.
these jobs, and that we should be fulfilled. We should be thankful. We should be grateful. And we're all going, there's something underlying in us, and we don't know what it is.
And a lot of us tend to do it alone, right?
Yes,
We handle
yes,
it
we
all alone.
do. Yeah, absolutely. Most
Um,
capable women do it alone.
hmm Many strong women have learned to equate strength with independence. Independence turns into isolation, and that's not fulfilling. And that's a lot of times where I think a lot of women find themselves like you said, burnt out, alone, unfulfilled. So,
Yeah.
and again, why do you think women struggle to ask for help? What would be your thought?
Um, you know what? I always just kind of go back to just my personal story because I think that's the easiest.
Hmm.
It's because for me it was a survival skill.
Hmm.
Pure and simple. It was a
Exactly.
survival skill from fear, from traumas that had happened. And again, when I talk traumas, I don't necessarily mean it's the worst of the worst traumas, right? Depending on how we grew up and things like that. So I know for me, growing up in an alcoholic abusive environment, okay,
Well,
my dad
that's
was abused.
trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was abusive towards my mother, physically, in all the ways. He never physically hurt me. I have three brothers, or anything, but the emotional, mental, oh my gosh, you never know. Is dad actually going to come home and hurt one of us? Because you didn't know. So that was my protection. My protection became watching my mom. My mom is amazing. She turned 89 in January and raised four of us basically by herself, working more than one job all the time and always being there for us, though, always being there for us. So I watched this woman become very independent, right?
Mhm.
She never really spoke anything. Her generation, they didn't really talk about stuff like
Right.
that, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
but I saw that. So I thought that to be independent like my mom, I had to just do everything on my own because my mom didn't have a choice.
Right.
And I didn't realize that. My mom she was divorced. She didn't have a
Hmm.
choice. She wasn't going to marry a man just to marry a man to help her,
Right.
which I appreciate.
Hmm.
So I kind of had the story built up just by watching my mom be very independent, become very capable. And Tiffany, so I think what happens is, and again, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, that proves that I'm strong and nobody's going to hurt me. Because if I'm strong and I'm capable in particular, no man is ever going to hurt me. That's not true.
Hmm.
And things like that. So I really think that it stems from things like that. It's the stories that we've seen, that we've been told, that we believe are true, and they're not
Hmm.
true.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then when we live that way, it compounds and it
And there's
stacks.
exactly, and it's almost like there's like a conditioning to it.
Yes.
That we have to prove ourselves. Just like your mom, I have to do it all. She didn't have a choice. Now, did
Yeah.
she have friends and family that might have stepped in? I don't know. Who knows what that
Um,
story is.
you know what? I know she had, yeah, she's from a family of 12. They were
Oh,
12. My
wonderful.
grandparents really like to produce children. So
Well, that
12.
back in that generation, that was pretty common. It
It
really was.
was. It was. And she did have friends that, but I don't know how, if they supported her emotionally, to be honest with you. I do remember growing up and people bringing us food for the
Mhm,
holidays to help with that.
mhm.
Because I was so young. I mean,
Yeah,
I was probably about 10 when my parents divorced.
right.
And I'm number three of the family.
But let's go back to that generation because they didn't talk, which means they probably didn't ask for help, right? Because it's,
Mhm.
isolation, probably fear, shame, and all that. People didn't get divorced back then as commonly wasn't really a good thing, right? And women really struggled
Mhm.
because we didn't make as much, and it just like everything else, the woman gets the short end of the stick. They get shunned, right? And then it's like
Yeah.
there is no one else to make it happen but myself. And so I think again, and I just feel like that just carries through. Like, asking for help might be considered a weakness in that
Yeah, and
generation back then.
you're no, you hit it on the head, and also not just divorce, but domestic violence.
Absolutely, 100%.
Nobody ever
Nope.
abused, nobody ever. So it was shameful. It was, you felt
Absolutely.
guilty. The person who was being abused is the one who starts to feel shameful and guilty. It's funny you say
Yep.
that. My mom and I were talking on Tuesday because I go every Tuesday night to go see her. And
Nice.
she was kind of reminiscing and she's like, I was so stupid. She's like, I would just smile and go. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, because nobody modeled anything for you.
Right.
You didn't know, Mom. You didn't know anything different.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's why you and I and what we talk about in Erin is so important to hopefully reach some of the younger ladies
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, to
Yeah,
share
because
our stories.
right, because sometimes it's not even that obvious. It doesn't have to be
Wow.
physical. It doesn't have to be an addiction. It can be the way the dynamics of the relationship are, right?
Yeah, and that
It's
was me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that could be a whole other topic for another day.
Yes. Yes,
But
it can.
yeah, but then again though now we're in a little bit more of an openness where we can ask for some things and we can ask for help and guidance. I mean, there's wonderful therapists out there. Of course, there's coaches like us. So it is a little bit more talked about. Again, though, it's about asking for it. It's okay
Yeah.
to um you know, be in partnership or even just to ask for help. There's a,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the topic is partnership versus dependency. So then the clarity is partnership is not dependency. And then diving into
Yeah.
that, because that one's a
Yeah,
tough one.
it is. I find it fascinating. Several years ago, I was talking with somebody, actually, it was a guy, a friend, and we were talking about the difference between dependency and interdependency.
Okay.
Relationships are interdependency because that means that you're both depending and it's not a weakness. I always thought dependence was a weakness.
Yeah.
Let's just change that definition, maybe. Okay. Interdependency means, you know what? If Denise is having a really bad day today, my partner, whether it's the love of my life and my best friend, or a partner like Tiffany, a business, whatever, that
Hmm.
person, sometimes you don't even need to say it. Sometimes you do. It's going to help lift me up,
Hmm.
and vice versa. That's what interdependency is. And capable women who are the
Hmm.
go-to women, because everybody knows we can do everything and we smile the whole time while we're doing it. We get
Yeah.
the pats. You've heard me talk about this. We get the pats
Hmm.
on the back, which boost our egos even more.
Hmm. Hmm.
And our egos are run by fear. I
Yep.
mean, this is a deep conversation, Tiffany.
It
But
really
if we,
is.
it is, but if we as capable, independent women can at least let go of just one little thing, one little tiny thing, then you'll feel how freeing that is. And you'll learn that you're still capable. Just because you asked does not mean you're not capable. You've already proven you're capable. You've already proven you're reliable and independent and all the other fun stuff.
Exactly. I thrive, and I'm sure you do too, on collaboration. And
Yes.
instead of maybe thinking that I have to ask for help, maybe think of it as we're collaborating on a problem. We're collaborating on how to run
Mm,
the household today. Who's going to
I
get who?
like
Who's going to pick up
that.
who? You know what I mean? But I think that that always fuels me. I get super excited when I meet people and you feel it, right? You and I like we aligned and it was like, like sparks are flying. It's like, yeah, yeah, this is great. It's awesome. And I think that's what really would benefit in a partnership, in a sustained communication relationship, whether it's business, family, personal, really, romantic,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know. And again, it's not dependency.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that could go into codependency, which of course is a whole other topic too. And that's,
Hmm.
there is a difference between that. And it's, um, I mean, some of the examples are dependency equals outsourced responsibility. So you're dependent on somebody to not, you're dependent on somebody for them to do it. And then, of course, they don't do it right. And then your expectations drop. And it's a whole mess, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And it shrinks somebody too. Whether you're shrinking the person because they're not holding up to your grand expectations that you think they need to have or whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but partnership can be shared strength, right?
Wow, it doesn't get much more powerful than that.
Exactly. Partnership expands both people. So one doesn't have to shrink to raise the other one up. It's a beautiful exchange of elevation between two people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like you said, whether it's romantic or business
Hmm.
related or
Hmm.
friends, family, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. It's
Hmm.
just, I believe it's what we're supposed to be doing as human beings,
Hmm. 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 I agree. I
you know, in
agree.
order to continue to grow together and you know, and being interdependent, you still get your own independence. That's why it's
Yes.
called inter, right? You're
Hmm.
dependent, but you're still your own person.
Right.
Just because you have to maybe depend on somebody once in a while does not mean that you're still not your own person. The only way that happens is if you allow it to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's a
you,
coaching relationship too, right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship. Oh, you learn that really fast.
Yeah, yeah. Whether you want to or not, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You know what? And talking about that, and you know, we're laughing about it, but when I first started doing the coaching, you know, obviously, not obviously, but I ended up getting a coach. I have two coaches,
Right.
and they both talked though first and foremost about the inner conflicts. They talk about the heart first before they talk anything about the ins and outs of the business end of it. It's always about the person and who we
Hmm.
are, right? I have to say though, like when I first joined these amazing coaches, it was very hard for me a question to ask them a question because I actually would have anxiety about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, what's wrong? Why are you having anxiety? You trust these people, you know they're kind and loving and heart centered. They've proven it to you, or you wouldn't have hired them,
Hmm.
you know. And I would actually have anxiety. And I just felt like if I asked a question, I was going to lose a little bit of that independence and that capability and control. And that scared me. That was my survival mode kicking in and trying to keep me safe, I realized. So I had to be extremely intentional. It still can be difficult for me. I'm honest.
Yeah.
To ask the people that I actually trust, I know they have my back, and say,
Trust.
yeah, there you go. And we can go into Where does it start? Self-trust. We can take
Yeah,
you. This is a great conversation. We could take this on for weeks and weeks, and
I
Aaron can
know.
pop on next week, and you ladies can continue.
Hell yeah.
It all starts with self-trust, though, but self-trust doesn't mean ego.
No,
Self-trust means that I trust myself now to be vulnerable, to ask questions, to ask for help. That takes vulnerability too. And when you're hurt and in trauma, you don't want to be vulnerable anymore. You are going to protect yourself to the best of your ability. And I think that's what happens as well. We don't want to be vulnerable because
no,
we've already been vulnerable and people took advantage of that and hurt
that's right.
us.
Hmm.
And we don't want to
Exactly.
do that anymore.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like that wall of protection. Well, that wall of protection isn't going to help you when you're really putting yourself out there and building a business and, you
No,
know,
it helps for a while. That's why God
yeah.
created this lizard part of our brain and things like
Hmm.
that to give to
Hmm.
us, and it protects you for a while. But that's where the awareness comes in. When
Right.
did that stop helping you now, and why do we have all these feelings and we're stuck and not fulfilled,
Exactly.
whatever? Yeah,
Exactly. So again, partnership doesn't divide power, it actually multiplies it.
yeah,
I know. And
yeah.
then again, I'll ask you, how have partnerships expanded opportunities in your life? I can already think of a couple.
You know what? So
And that
many.
wasn't me.
No,
That
I
was
mean,
what I'm seeing you out there
yeah.
doing.
It's just it has helped me step into what I've been called to do right now in this season of my life. And I say it that way because I don't know what my season in life is going to be 2 years from now. As far as where I'll just talk about the business end of it, where that's going to be taking me. Okay. So when I think about things like that, it's just again, my life has changed so much since I have checked my ego, have been able to tell myself I'm still all this, I'm capable and I'm all this stuff and I'm still strong. But when I've been able to now reach out to other people, check my ego, it has taken me to help so many women around this planet. It has helped me hop on live streams like this and shows like this. I've been on a couple of podcasts and I've been able to, and they're scary and everything like that, but I was able to do them because of learning that I am a leader. I
Hmm.
am a leader, and I had to learn to lead myself a lot better than I was, first
Yeah.
of all.
Hmm.
And even when I first started coaching, I was a general manager, so I know how to lead other people.
Right. Same. Yeah.
But surprise, I learned I was not leading myself. So just kind of going back to partnership, I've been able to
Mhm.
partner with amazing people, some
Right.
that are 20 steps ahead of me. And
That
that's
can
where
help guide you along
yes,
the way. I know. It's awesome.
what, and
And help you
yes,
see things in you that you didn't see, for better, for worse, for whatever. It's all a growth
yes,
thing.
that's
And
the
you
best
wouldn't
part.
and you wouldn't have that if you were by yourself.
No, and I was very good at isolating. You mentioned
Hmm.
isolation, right?
Hmm.
And gosh, how lonely is that? And when we
I
talk
know.
friends about isolation, it doesn't mean I physically isolated myself. I was
Right.
still living life and doing stuff that I love to do, but I isolated my heart and my soul
Right.
until my heart and soul cried out so much and said, "We're done, Denise. You have to stop doing this.
Yeah.
You've got to ask for help.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean you're weak.
Right.
Doesn't mean any of that. Those are lies you've told yourself." So partnership has just helped me grow
Right.
in ways I never even imagined, giving me
Exactly.
those aha moments, meeting amazing people.
Yes. Again, you've got the shared vision, you've got complementary strengths, you have emotional support, which is huge, which of course, all of these things align our nervous system too. So we're not running in constant fight and flight and scarcity and fear and all that other yuckiness that pulls us
Yeah.
down, pulls our energy down, pulls our health down, everything.
Yeah, those healthy partnerships, I tell you what, will calm that nervous system because I'm at a point now in my life where my brain knows things aren't logical when I have the overthinking popping up or whatever, the
Hmm.
what ifs. My brain now can go, Denise, that's not logical. That's not true,
Right.
Denise, but my nervous system is still shaking. It's still scared. It's still all this other stuff. So, and people don't talk about that enough.
Yeah,
So with true partnership, when you have a true partnership with that, whatever it is, it does help calm your nervous system too. So now you start to align with yourself even better, and then you align with that partnership even better.
exactly. Exactly. Because again, if we are in scarcity, fight and flight and all that stuff, then that doesn't even leave room for anybody else. Like you can't have a partnership if you're in scarcity because there's a trust factor. There's all that rumination of like scarcity stuff of being and be, I mean scarcity in that there's not enough around. There's not enough success to go around. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? There's not enough
Yeah,
money to go around. There's not enough whatever the conversation is. Man, that's rough.
yeah.
That's just such a, I mean, that's not a growth mindset we know, and it's a
Mm,
default. And
mm,
it hurts. Like it hurts my heart when people when you can clearly see it too. I'm sure when you're out in the community and you see stuff and it's like this would be an opportunity to collaborate and the other person just doesn't see it. I mean, maybe you don't align and that's fine too, but like you can just like wait, like wow, okay, this could have been so much better and greater.
yeah, and and then you think, well, that person is, again, we're not going to align for whatever reasons. Maybe that
Hmm.
person's not ready.
Hmm.
But we're open enough to be open to partnerships.
Hmm.
No, they're not all going to be, you're not going to want a partnership with everybody. And that's
Right.
okay. That's what people don't
Right.
get. That's fine. I'm really
Hmm.
sensitive to energy.
Hmm.
And if somebody comes in front of me and their energy does not align with mine, I almost have to step. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being rude. I will smile and talk to you because you are this wonderful human being. But for some reason,
Yeah.
we're not aligning. And like I said, you can be respectful and all that other fun stuff. It doesn't mean I'm going to partner with you, and that's okay. Doesn't mean I
Right.
don't like you. Doesn't mean you don't like me, or we just don't align. That's okay.
Exactly.
Somebody's going to align with you.
Exactly.
If you're in it with your heart and your soul, you'll find that
Right.
those people that will also align with you. If you
Hmm.
are not in it with your heart and soul, you're going to find those people too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so we usually have some prompts that are good, like for people to think about. You can also use them as journal prompts too.
Hmm.
But a couple of them are, so where am I trying to do everything alone? What part of your life are you trying to do everything alone? Who could I invite into partnership? What would shift if I saw asking for help as wisdom? So what would shift if I changed that thought of scarcity maybe into wisdom? And just sit with those things, right? I think those are great prompts just to sit with, maybe
Hmm.
ask yourself throughout the day today. This is, if you're getting yourself in a pickle and you're like, gosh, I just feel so overwhelmed. Is there something that can be offset? Is there someone you can look to for partnership to assist in that particular task or issue or circumstance or whatever?
Yeah, yeah. And I love sitting with stuff. Tiffany, what I've learned again for myself is when I sit with things, I try not, this may sound odd for some people, to really think about it. I've learned to sit with my feelings with it now because if I think about it, I'm going to go into overthinking
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never get out of that loop. And you and I, you hear me talk about that. So for me, right now, I've learned to just sit with the feeling and not for very long. And the cool thing is, I can decide how long I sit with that feeling and how long I don't want to sit with the feeling. If I don't
Exactly.
want to sit with that feeling right now for 10 minutes, then I can pull myself out. If I want to sit with it for 2 minutes, that's okay too. I
Mhm.
have control over how long I want to sit in that feeling. And I
Right.
think that's really important for people to understand because that gives you control instead of you feeling like I have no control over this, which capable women don't like to feel.
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the shift is you can be strong and supported, you can be independent and connected. So we can have it all if we choose to see it that way,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. And it's very freeing and even more empowering than isolating
Absolutely.
and thinking that we have to do it all by ourselves. That
Hmm.
is not empowering, ladies. I used to think it was. It is not.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right. Flexing your muscles all the time gets exhausting. Your muscles can't hold a contraction forever.
No, no, they can't. I like that metaphor.
Right?
Yes, I like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would just want to thank you so much, Denise, for joining today and thank Erin, even though she's
Yeah.
not here, but giving us the opportunity then to collaborate and be in partnership.
Yeah. I appreciate both of you. And I know Erin's having a blast.
I
How
know.
can she not? She's so
I
fun.
know. I'm sure uh she's posted some pictures too of her travels and they look amazing.
I bet. Yeah.
Um And also, if anybody is interested in coaching, Denise is an awesome empowerment coach. Erin and I also coach. We have a day retreat coming up physically here in Southern California if anybody wants to join. And we have some closing affirmations to leave everybody with. The first one is I release the need to do it all alone. Sometimes these I put them on sticky notes and I put them on my computer or wherever that you're working or whatever, and it's just a good
Mhm.
reminder. Another one is I welcome support and I expand through partnership.
I like those.
I know.
Very powerful. I'm going to put those on my phone.
See? Exactly.
Yeah. So they
Yeah,
pop
thank
up
you.
for me to
Yes.
see. Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, Denise, for your time. Greatly appreciate it. And we hope
Thank
everybody
you.
has an awesome day. We'll somehow tie in your uh, information in there too, or how people can follow you too, Denise.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it. It was great
Absolutely.
being on here. Hugs to everybody.
Yes. Hugs to you and everyone, and thank you. Big gratitude.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.